whatever you give me, I give back. If you give disrespect, you get disrespect back. If you give respect, you get respect back. That's how I work. What's up, my Dajaybiesquad squad? It's your girl Kyla J, and today I'm back at it again with another video. Feeling happy, blessed, and beautiful. Listen, I'm so happy to be back at it again with another video for you guys. As you guys can see, this is a different setup. All right, I decided to give you guys a little story time mukbang. I'm very excited for this. I've been honestly wanting to do more story times on my channel and mukbangs as well, so I thought, why not incorporate that together? But let me just tell you something. This food smells good. This food looks good. I'm about to gear up right now because I'm ready to eat like 100%. I literally can give you guys the juice, the dirt, the tea. So get ready, you know what I'm saying? Get your drink, period. Get your seafood, get your whatever, and call it a day. Before I get into this, I actually got all this seafood, y'all. Like literally, it looks so good. This is my second time doing like the seafood boil and stuff. I did it before, but it was definitely less seafood than this. It wasn't all this seafood. And then it also came with some chicken or whatever, and I got my fries. I got my sauce. This sauce, I have no clue what in the world this sauce is. Okay, y'all, so you know I'm ready to eat. Let's get into this. So I'm gonna hop into the story time while I am actually eating my food, and I'm just going to take you guys back in the very beginning. Guys, you don't even know how excited I'm ready to eat this food. I haven't ate all day. This story is about the time that one of my co-workers tried to fight me at my job. Okay, when I tell you fight me, I mean like fight, throw down, fist, all that in the smuggler. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you from the beginning. So it all started out when one night me and my mom wanted to like go out to eat and stuff like that. I think we were celebrating something. I'm not exactly sure what we were celebrating, but it was something we were like celebrating together, and it might have been like good grades or something like that, because I was still in high school at this time, and I think I was like 16 at the time. So we decided to go out. We didn't really want to go to our regular place that we used to go to this high-end restaurant. And I mean, this restaurant was like with like rich people, wealthy people, like just a high-end community, right? So we went to this restaurant. We went inside down, had our dinner, and without my mom asking, I thought it would be a good idea for me to get a job, because at the time I was trying to save up to do my own stuff. So when I was at that time, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save up, do my own stuff, okay? And that's gonna be a day, call it a day. So I decided to save up, do all that. But I asked the waitress if she was hiring at that time for any positions. And she said, actually, they're looking for a hostess. So I was like, okay, I have no host experience, but why not? I think it would be like a really chill thing to do for that experience, so that's what I did. So she gave me the papers. I literally filled them out, guys, that day. Like by the time dinner was done, the papers were filled out. The manager walked over. I gave the papers to the manager, and that's what it was. And he was like, do you think you can come in, tomorrow for an interview? I was like, yeah, I'll come in tomorrow for an interview. So the following day I came in for the interview, got the job, which was really exciting for me at the time, because I generally wanted to, I don't know, I generally just wanted to work. I don't know what it was. I think, you know, the responsibility and everything to me was kind of like cool, you know, like being able to buy my own stuff, not having to ask my parents for money when I go out with my friends or certain things like that. I really wanted my own income and my own independence. So that's why I really just decided to, you know, go and take that opportunity and get a job and not tell my mom. My mom was stunned. Like, I'm telling you, when my mom thought that I wasn't there to get a job, like, she really didn't know. I literally just was like, I want a job, yo, for real. Now, just to let you guys know, previously, I think there was like a bartender or whatever. There was a bartender that was actually already there, and there was a previous fight already at the job. So you guys already know, but he left that job like before that I got there, so I couldn't really see him or anything. But I just thought it was weird because it was such a high-end restaurant, and people were, they came across really like bougie and like really not about it like that. My gosh, bro, this looks so good. So yeah, like I was saying, like previously, before, the people didn't necessarily come across like they were really, you know, like disruptive or anything like that. Like, I thought it was like a really cool, calm environment. So that's like the #1 reason I applied for the job. Like, I literally walked in and I was like, I see myself working at a place like this, because the people were just really, really kind, I thought. The time that I walked into the restaurant, I think it was like my first time ever walking into the restaurant as an employee. There was already a hostess there and a manager, and Laura was already working there at the time, right? And she's been there, I want to say, like for years. She's been there. I think she's been there since she was like in high school, because I think right around this time she was like in college age. So she really wasn't like, I don't know, she wasn't new, but she kind of was, you get what I'm saying? So like, she's kind of been there for a while. And so when I went there, she didn't really have a welcoming thing to her. Like, she wasn't welcoming at all. She was a Looney Tunes. Like, she was just so mean. She was mean to the customers. Like, she would curse the customers out. And I would always say to her, I'd be like, Laura, these people have nothing to do with your issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you personally have issues, because I think she was going through like a lot at home or whatever like that. I really don't know. At the time, I really could care less, because for me, it was like, stop putting people through hell and back because you're not happy with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So would walk in and she would be like throwing menus at them, and she would be like, go seat yourself. Like, she was really doing the most. Like, I was like, girl, one day one of these customers are gonna curse you out, or one day you're gonna lose your job. And there was my manager, Katie. I had 3 managers, by the way. One was Katie. Katie was very, to herself, quiet, but I could tell that she played 2 faces. Like, she wasn't, that she would tell you that something's okay, and then the other 2 managers would go off on you, and you're like, but Katie said it was okay. And then they're like, well, Katie said to us that it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little things like that with her that really, really got on a girl's nerves. There was another manager, I'm gonna call her Jennifer. And just to let you guys know, I'm probably not gonna remember half these names, so yeah. But her name was Jennifer, and Jennifer, she had an issue with me from the get-go. Like, I got hired on the spot, and she just did not like me from the get-go. She was in charge of all the hostesses. Got 2 more other hosts later down the line. That people were quitting, people were coming back, people were getting, like, it was a lot going on, a lot of drama in that job. And so at the time, for whatever reason, she just generally did not like me, and I could never understand why. I still don't know to this day why she didn't like me, but she just had it out to get me from the very get-go. There was 2 female managers, and then there was a guy manager. And the guy managers, I noticed they're always cool, but like the guy managers, one was, I'll call him Sam. He was like, he's the one that hired me. He was so like clean cut, buttoned up, really had his stuff together. Like his hair, he had his hair cut, he had like a nice watch. Like he was just that dude, you know what I'm saying? That manager, like really had his stuff together. And he was so cool. Like his whole attitude and everything. He came into work every day, never, like if he had a bad day, we wouldn't tell because he didn't put that on us. Like he was definitely meant to be a manager. And there was another guy manager named Dan. I'll call him Dan. There was another guy manager named Dan. He really didn't play. Like he was one of those managers that really just did not play. Like I didn't have an issue with him or anything, but he just really, yeah, he didn't play. So the people that I really had to be hands-on with in the beginning was like cool or whatever like that. And it was just cool starting off. It was really cool starting off. I feel like I kind of wish that it ended a little bit better, but we'll get to that. So the first week that I was there, it started off where I was doing my job. I was on time every day. Sometimes I actually came in early. I actually was doing my job as a hostess, seating people, taking orders, and I was also the janitor, and I was also the waitress, and I was also an underage bartender. Like I was doing pretty much every job that you can do at a restaurant. I was doing some management jobs, like anytime that they didn't have time to do that management skill or whatever the case may be, your girl was doing it. So in one situation, one point in time, this is when it kind of started going downhill, and it really started off with Jennifer. She's like the main one that was like always the cause of the issues. It was my lunch break or whatever, and my auntie came down to come and visit me, and I was really happy because, as you guys know, my mom's she's really from Delaware, but she grew up in Maryland. As you guys know my family. So my auntie came up, and I was very happy, like very excited, because I was like, finally my auntie gets to see what I'm doing. She gets to see my job. She gets to see, you know, me in action or whatever. So she was coming over. She actually came up, actually sat my mom down at a table, and I sat my auntie down at a table at the time. And I think it was just my auntie and my mom. I'm not sure if my uncle was there, but I sat them down at the time. My manager, Jennifer, knew that it was a lunch break that I was supposed to be on, and she was trying to play games with my lunch break, and I was like, okay, listen, Jennifer, okay. And I didn't say it like that, as you guys know, but I literally was like, okay, it's my lunch break, my family's here, is it okay if I go sit with my family for my lunch break? And she was like,
yeah, but before you go on your lunch break, you need to go and like clean the bathroom stalls and unlock the doors.
I'm like, one, it's my lunch break. So if I go and do that, then it's going to go and tap into my time that I'm supposed to be chilling and coming back. So if I go and do that on my lunch break, you need to add on extra hours of my lunch break. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was going. And then I went and did what she said, because she was my boss. So I went, I cleaned the bathrooms, I crawled underneath the stall, literally. Guys, I don't know what it was, but these kids in the local area, because it was like a shopping area, like an outdoor shopping area, like an outlet or whatever, and then we were like, I want to say like one of the only high-end restaurants. So like that's where I worked, and then it was like a bunch of like shopping areas or whatever, and I literally like, and then there was like apartments or whatever like connected to the shopping area. And there was like kids that would come in with their parents, and it was like their spot. They would come in every weekend, and they would go out to eat as a family, and the kids would crawl underneath the stall, lock the bathroom stalls, crawl under, crawl back, lock the bathroom stalls, crawl under. So when people were trying to go to the bathroom and they would push the stall, the door would be locked. So of course people would be complaining like, oh, the doors are locked or whatever like that. So Jennifer was like, can you go and, you know, unlock the bathroom stalls or whatever? And I was like, okay. So I literally in like heels, a nice dress, because it's a high-end restaurant, so I had to dress up. am crawling underneath the dirty behind stalls, unlocking the stalls, every last one. It was horrible. Like, I had to go and pick up tissue and stuff in the bathroom, and if there was like a toilet issue, I had to take care of it. It was horrible. Like, I'm a hostess. Like, I didn't even sign up for this mess, but I'm gonna do it because you're my boss. Like, that's literally how naive I was at the time. Like, I feel like I didn't really, like, I was kind of raised to think, okay, whoever's the higher authority, just do what they say. You know what I'm saying? But I had to kind of realize, like, if it's something that is putting you in danger or something that's like demeaning you, I feel like you shouldn't do, if that makes sense. And I feel like at the time, since I was so young and 16, I really didn't understand. So fast forward, I went out, I finished doing what she told me to do. I said, okay, I'm taking my break. And she was like, your break's over. I said, my break's not over. I was like, I literally took the whole time to unlock stalls. My family is halfway eating already. Like, they're halfway done eating already. So you just wasted half of my time that I could have spent with my family. I'm gonna hang out with my family on my break, and you're gonna give me the extra hours, and then I'll come back. And after that happened, she literally went, it was like a hostess thing. So, like, you know, you have your desk here or whatever, and then you have like the side over here, so you kind of have to walk around it to get out. She blocked the side part and was like, you're not going anywhere, like, you're gonna work. And then I was like, I looked at the other hostess, Lori. I looked at the other hostess, Lori, and I was like, Lori, I was like, you got this from here, I'm going to take my break. And you know what I did? Your girl went like this, and she glided through the manager. Like, oh, and the manager was also heavy set. Like, she was bigger or whatever. So she was like really trying to like do the most. Like, I'm not saying girls that are heavy set are trying to do the most. I'm not saying that. Like, please don't twist my words. But I'm just saying, like, she was trying to use her size to an advantage. So she was doing the most or whatever like that. So I scooted right in between her. Like, you're not about to block me, honey. I deserve my break just like everybody else. So I went to the table. I sat with my family, and my mom was sitting there. She was like, you okay? Because she could notice that I really wasn't okay, like, for real. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, this manager has been harassing me for like, I want to say like about around this time. I was there for like 2 months or whatever. So I'm fast forwarding, guys. I was there for 2 months, and I was like, this manager has really been harassing me and like doing the most. So like, she was like, okay. And I think my mom took that for like a mental note or whatever. And I didn't want to tell her too much, because my mom, like, if you poke the baby bear, the mother bear comes out like real quick. So I already knew that. So I was like, I'm gonna say lies. I'm not gonna tell her a lot, you know? And plus, I don't want my mom to get in trouble and do anything, because then they win at the end and then I have no mom. So, you know, I just told her the amount that I thought was good. And my auntie was there and was like, okay, baby, you know, just focus on eating in your lunch break, and then just chill, you know? So I chilled, and that was about it. That was like the first instance of, I guess, bullying or whatever situation you want to call it. That was the first instance. Now the second instance, I'm gonna fast forward, I want to say about 3 months. This is when it started getting bad, because she was here, and in between this time they hired 2 other hostess, Annie and the other one Ash. They hired Annie, and she was, Ash is the one I'm talking about. Okay, Ash, she was like, she really didn't need the job. Like, she really didn't. She said that she just wanted to work at the job for like basically the same reason I did, just like to learn something pretty much. But the difference was, like, she came from like a really wealthy family. Like, her dad, I think she had like a Range Rover, and she was like in high school. It was like insane. So like, her dad didn't really require her to kind of like do much, but she just decided that she wanted to have her own money and stuff like that, just so she didn't want to have to ask her parents. So that's kind of how we related, because that's literally why I got my job. Like, I didn't have to, but I just wanted to get it because I was sick and tired of asking my parents for money, and I feel like I was leeching off of them in a way. So that's why I did not do that. So Ash was there. Me and Ash were cool. We're still tight to this day. We're really, really cool. And then Ann came. Ann came to the job. And Ann, my first impression of Ann was very cool, laid back, around the way girl. She really wasn't amped. She wasn't, I don't know, like she was cool. Like, I was like, oh, we're gonna be a dope relationship, because at the time Lori was already, the other hostess that was there originally, she was gone. She left the job. I think it was something to do with her dad or something. Her dad wanted her to go to school, and her dad did not want her to be working, and he didn't support her working. He wanted her to be in school, which I was like, but that's why she left. And she was really upset because me and her actually ended up growing an interesting bond. Like, she was moody, but we were kind of like up and down, up and down. It was one of those weird things. Now, around this time, Ann was the type where she tried to act like a bad behind, kind of, and I don't like those type of people that kind of keep trying to prove themselves. Because for me, it's like, if you're a bad behind, you don't really have to say it. You just, your actions speak it. But for her, it was like a lot of this. So like, she was already going through issues, and I think she was going through issues with her boyfriend or whatever at the time. And she was like, Lori, like any type of situation she was going through, she would try to put that raft on other people. But the difference between her and Lori is Lori, it was kind of just like a quietness, and it was more of like, I'm gonna slam down the menus, I'm going to push you or nudge you out the way, and girl, you guys already know I don't do that nudging stuff. So when she tried to go down that road, that's when it all went south, like for real. So at the time, she was going through some issues with her boyfriend, and this is a new day. I walk into the restaurant or whatever, I go to the hostess thing, and in the beginning, a hostess, we have to, I'm sure if anyone else is a hostess that's my following, you guys know, as a hostess, you have to wipe down the counters, wipe down the seats and everything, make sure that everything's dusted, basically prepare the dining area, prepare the bathrooms, and that's pretty much it. That's like your job. Besides seating people, you guys have to do like the seating arrangements and stuff, and make sure that the waitresses and waiters are getting paid around the same amount or whatever. So that's basically what I was doing. And Ann walked in, and I could already tell she was peed off, so I didn't really bother her because I was like, I don't want her to give me a reason. So I just kind of let her be or whatever like that. And then she started talking, and I was like, okay. So I went off her energy. I was talking to her. I was like, okay, so you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I generally thought we were cool. So at the time, I generally thought we were cool. Of course, she decides to do the most. I mean, the most. So I come up to the office, like the table or whatever, and I'm taking out the menus, and I'm like wiping down the menus and stuff and making sure that all the menus and stuff are clean. And then I like pass her the menus, and then she was like, had her arms crossed, and she wouldn't take the menus. And I was like, okay. I was like, here are the menus, like I need you to help me wipe them down. Do your job. So like, she was just arms crossed. I'm like, am I messing with a 2-year-old at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. So I just was like, okay, whatever. So I put the menus down, I started wiping, and then I was like, I felt myself getting like pissed, like really, really mad. So I like left the host stand, and then I went to a waitress named Jen. I'm gonna call her Jen. I went to a waitress named Jen. She was an older waitress, and she was there, I'm gonna say, for years. And I absolutely loved Jen. Like, she literally was like the counselor for all the waiters and waitresses and busboys and everything. Like, she was just that person that she would literally talk to. Like, she was like a general cool person, you know. She liked my mom and all that, so it was dope or whatever. So I walked over to, you know, Miss Jen, and I was like, okay, Jen. And I remember saying, I was like, Ann has an attitude for whatever reason. I don't know what the issue is, but I said, I'm really trying to breathe right now because I'm really not trying to go off. And she's doing the most, and she's like not taking menus, she's not doing her job, she's not helping me with prep time, she's not doing any of that, okay? She's just sitting over there acting like a 2-year-old because she didn't get what she wanted, or she's going through hell and back like everybody else. So she was just kind of like, sorry, that was weird. She was kind of like, I know, you know, just kind of being calm and, you know, try to give her space. I know she's been going through some things with her boyfriend. I was like, okay, you know, because I'm not a cold person, so I understood, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never had a boyfriend, so I can't say how it would feel being in a relationship and going through heck and back and stuff. I really can't, but I could only imagine. So I was like, okay, at this point, I understand. I'm just gonna give her space. I'm gonna let her work that mess out by herself. I'm not gonna go off on her. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna be understanding. So that's exactly what I did. So I walked back over to the desk. At this time, Ann, she went to the bar, and she was like older than me. I was 16 by this time. She was like older than me. I want to say like she was like 20. I don't know, like 21, 22. It was like that age difference. Like, it was crazy. So she was legal, I wasn't at this point. And that was another reason why I was like, I'm not about to argue with a grown adult. Like, I'm the child. You're the adult. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. The customer comes in. Now, mind you, customer comes in. This is our first customer of the day. I'm already, okay, I'm ready for the job, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys know I loved my job. Like, I was like, I'm here for it, right? She walks in. She says hi. So at this point, there was no menus on my side of the hostess stand because we had two monitors. And then we had like 2 sets of menus. So on my side, there was menus. And then on her side, there was menus. And so I didn't have any menus at all because my menus were dirty and she didn't help me clean them, so I didn't have time to clean them. All her menus were clean. I was like, hey, you know, Ann, can you go and grab me a menu? And then she was on her phone. So I was already like, okay, I was like, Ann, can you grab me a menu? And then I reached over and I was like, just a second. Cause at this point, I'm trying to stay professional. Okay, because this customer is just trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to put the customer through any hell like I've been going through for the past couple hours. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, the customer is just trying to eat. That's all the customer is trying to do. So I reach over, I grab the menu or whatever, and I said, okay, follow me this way, right? I grabbed 3 menus, follow me this way. So she goes and follows me, I see them, I come back, all right? And I'm waiting there because at this point I'm tapping in like the table that's taken. I gave the sticky thing to the waitress, made sure that she got her table and all that settled and everything like that. The phone rings. Waiting for Ann to pick up the phone. Do your job. It's your phone that's ringing. We had 2 separate phones. It's your phone that's ringing, not mine. Does not pick up the phone. So of course I pick up the phone. Hi, welcome to Blossoms. This is Kyla speaking. May I take your order? That's what I said. And then the girl was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what the order was, but she said something. I wrote the order down, gave it to the chef, right? So when I did that, I came back, and now Anne's still on her phone with an attitude. So at this point, like I said, I would have handled this differently. By this time, of course, like I said about the story time before, I really wasn't mentally there. So I said, okay, so what's your issue? And she said,
what's my issue?
so at this point, I'm like, she popped off way too quick to not be hearing me. You know what I'm saying? To not be hearing me the whole time. I said, can you pass me the menus? You heard that, didn't you? So of course, I said what I said. And she was like, who do you think you're talking to? Do you talk to your mother this way? Be disrespectful. How old are you? I was like, wait. I was like, wait. Pause. Rewind. Okay. What are you talking about? Like, do I talk to my mother? First of all, you're far from my mother. I don't talk to my mother that way. She's my mom. But you, on the other hand, whatever you give me, I give back. If you give disrespect, you get disrespect back. If you give respect, you get respect back. That's how I work. So, like, she was just doing the most. So at this point, I was like, put down your hands, Ann. Put down your hands. I said, you're way too close to my personal space right now. Because she was, like, creeping up like this. Like, she was creeping up like that. And she was doing all this. So, for me, this is stupid. Like, but she was doing all that. And then she was trying to get amped. But as she was getting amped, and she was like, girl, I wish you would. Like, she was going off. Girl, I wish you would. How I wish you. Like that. She was running. And then started to silence herself and went to the managers and was like, Kyla is just, you know, doing the most, and she's disrespectful, and she came at me, and she was just being all like so hostile. I was like, okay, I'm really over at this point. So I walked in the back. I was like, okay, so you're gonna tell me what you said? What are you talking about? I was like, okay, so one, you came up into the host stand with a big behind attitude. I asked you to do your job. I asked you to do what you were supposed to do. You couldn't do that. And then the managers were like, hold up, Kyla, you know, hold up. I'm like, no, calm her down. She's the one popping off, clapping her hands and doing the most. I didn't even go to that level. I didn't even go in that area at all. That wasn't even in my mind state to even go there because I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be professional. Like, I don't do that at a workplace, at a work area or anything. And so he was just like, okay, Kyla, okay, let's go to the back. Because at this point, the restaurant was starting to fill up with like people. Like, we were starting to get loads of people coming in. And I think it was like lunch hour or something like that. And I don't know, like, she was just going off for no reason. Put me in the back. They put me in the back of the restaurant. They put this up in the front. She's still working by this point. I'm sitting in the back of the restaurant for hours, like waiting for someone to tell me, oh, okay, come back and work or go home for the day. I'm sending both of you home for the day because you got, first, she started the mess, and second, maybe you didn't help the issue. So I'm gonna send both of you guys home for the day and then bring Ash in to do the rest of the hosting. I thought honestly that's what it was gonna be, but honestly that's not the route they took. They decided to put the black girl in the back of the restaurant and call it a day. So I was like, okay, fine. So I sat in the back of the restaurant. One of my favorite managers actually came in. I'm gonna call her Gabrielle. I loved Gabrielle. Like, she was everything. She was about that height, I thought, and the most. So she comes in. She says to me, why are you in the back? Like, and she's doing the most. And whatever I said, I was just going off. I was probably saying some whack behind stuff I should have not been saying at 16. And she walked in, she was like, okay, calm down, I'm gonna see what's up. She walked in the front, never came back. The last time I saw, I looked out of the chef's window and she was literally rubbing her back and sitting with her and trying to sympathize with her and do all this mess. And I'm like, why is literally all of the hostesses, all of the managers, basically like the on floor staff was literally in the front trying to make her feel better. I'm like, this is the girl that's been causing drama all week. This is the girl that has been pushing my buttons all week. You know what I'm saying? Like, prior to that, she snatched the keyboard from me, snatched the mouse from me. So I was taking a lot already. And now I feel like, me looking at it back then, I really thought it was like some punk stuff. Because, you know, when we're younger, it's like, oh, you're a punk because you didn't, you know, hit the girl or whatever like that. I feel like it's smart if you don't take that road. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, you're the one with the record, not her. And your future's messed up. So for me, I think like that. I think with my mind, not with my hands. That's what my mom taught me. I'm gonna stick by it. And whoever don't like it can really go kick rocks. But at this point, I really was like, wow, like I got played. Like, I really, really like felt played 100%. Like, I was like, I didn't even get a hair. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm younger, so if I did, she would get in trouble more than me. But I'm happy I didn't. I'm really happy I didn't, because I feel like that would have downgraded my character. And that's not even in my character. Like, I don't do violence. I don't condone violence. I don't do any of that. And I just feel like I probably would have ended up in the long run feeling crappy about myself. That someone could get me to that extreme level and bring me to those emotions. And I didn't care about her that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why the heck would I go there? But that's just how I felt. Everyone's there. So I'm freaking out. I'm upset because my lunch work shift is literally almost done. And it's about to be my dinner work shift. Because I kept telling you, at this point, I think I took on a job for Ash. She was supposed to work dinner and I worked too. And dinner like lasted all the way up until like 11 o'clock, I believe. Which was horrible, but I was there until 11 o'clock where I was supposed to be. So at this point, I was just really, really upset about the whole situation. And I knew I wanted someone to talk to, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my mom. But then I kind of paused for a second and was like, do I want to call my mom? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like anytime you bring a mom into like a situation that's hostile like that, it could go one or two ways. It could be someone's eyes get clawed out for Mama Bear, or it could be, okay, Mama Bear is just gonna go and get her, you know, little cub or whatever, her bear, and like leave the building and call it a day. But my mom is not that way. You know what I'm saying? She's came a long way. But back then, especially the age that I was, vulnerable, 16, I think she kind of felt obligated, or not obligated, but like, it was kind of like I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, me being 19 now, looking back, I'm like, dang, like, I felt like that was literally just around the corner, but it really wasn't. Like, that mess, my mess was a while ago. I was in high school? Or just got into middle school? No, I was in high school because I remember telling my teachers about it and they were like, quit. So I was kind of trying to hesitate or whatever, and then I finally came to the decision. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna call, I think I called my dad first. I was like, I'm gonna call my dad. And then I called my dad, he didn't pick up. Of course, out of these times, he does not pick up. Any other time, the first ring, my dad's like, hello? But not this time. So then at this point, I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need someone to come pick me up because I'm really over this work shift at this point, and they're trying to put me back in the front to work with her. So I'm like, at this point, I'm not doing that. So I called my mom. I was like, Mom, and of course I started crying. So that just made the whole situation, worse. I started crying. I was like, okay, Mom. I was like, I really need you to come pick me up. This hoe trying to fight. Like, I was really in my feelings. I was like, this hoe trying to fight me or whatever. And at the time, she was with my uncle, which I didn't know, and I would have never called her. She was with my uncle. Cause my uncle is like, don't play with my uncle, man. Like, he just like, he's like that. Like, don't. Yeah, I would have never called her if I known they were in the car together. Like, I would have never done that. And I think they were shopping or whatever. So I was going off. I did not know that he was in the car at this point. So we were like, I was calling her, whatever, like that. And she was like, what? Like, she was going off. They did what? They did. I was like literally, like, I was like, bro. And she was like, they did what? They did what? I was like, that's how trying to hit me. That's how. Like, I was going off. And the chef, of course, was in the back, like, guys, keep cooking. She was like, I'm on my way. Click. I was like, mom, like, I was really like on it, like, hello, like, you just clicked the phone off and I'm literally venting and talking. But I already knew what time it was. I was like, at this point I need to be ready to get to the front just so nothing happens, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point it wouldn't be bad if the girl got knocked out because you messed with a baby cub, but you know, I don't, you know what I'm saying, you know, don't all that. So, the manager comes back and she's like, is everything okay? I hear you still yelling. You're gonna have to calm down. I said, everything's fine. I just called my mom. You called your mom? I was like, yeah, I just called my mom like now. I said, my mom's actually on her way. And then she was like, what is she gonna do? That's literally what she said, hands down. I'm not even playing with you. She said, what is she gonna do? And then she got all the other managers. I want to say like the two other managers, because at that time, of course, like out of all days, all three of the managers were there. And so she got like the two other managers, and she was like, okay, so what your mom gonna do? What your mom gonna do? And I was like, when you mess with the baby cub, you know, the mama claws come out. Like, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, you started this mess. You didn't handle it right. You put the black girl in the back. I've been there for almost like an hour. You know what I'm saying? And then now you really, really care. What's about that? Like, I was really, really, really just like laughing at that point. Like, in my mind. And plus, I was like a 16-year-old girl. So at that point, I was like, I genuinely thought this mess was funny. One manager standing next to me, and then I have another manager in the front of me. I felt like I had bodyguards. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, why the heck are you bodyguarding me when the other one's hostile in the front? I tell you guys, I was low-key nervous. Like, I was really low-key nervous. Wait a second. Finally see my mom walk in. I haven't seen my mom walk so fast in her life. I'm serious. She was like zooming into the restaurant. Like, she was really trying to get her baby for real, like, because I could tell that she really like could tell that I was low-key in shock, but like hurt in a certain type of way or whatever. So she was zooming into that restaurant, like she was zooming, and I was pointing her out. So my mom walks in, she said, oh, so you like to hit little girls? Hit me. I would wish you would hit me. Like, she was like serious. She was like, swing at me. Swing at someone in your age bracket. You know what I'm saying? Like, because to remind you, the girl was older. So it's like an older sibling picking on their little sibling. You know what I'm saying? So like for my mom, it was like, you're up here. Like, my mom doesn't like bullies at all. Like, she literally growing up, like, she stood for people that were bullied. Like, she didn't play that mess at all. So like in this situation, this girl was a bully, like for real. So my mom was like, bully someone your own size. And then I came from the kitchen and like from like the back of the restaurant or whatever, and then I like walked to the front and I saw her and I was trying to get to her, and then one of the dumb managers, like, I don't know why they did this, they thought it would be cool to physically put his hands on my mother and try to calm her down. And she was like, don't do that. And I looked at him like, you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't touch my mom. Like, don't do that mess. Like, I literally said that. I was like, don't touch my mom. Because you guys know, like, how much my mom means to me. I was like, don't touch my mom. So like he kind of like got it, and he didn't really like try to like touch her anymore or do anything of that. And so the girl was still lying. Now there was an opening between, there was me and then the manager. It was like, this is like the hostess stand where I am, right? And then if you walk around the table, then you're right here, right? So like when I want to say like I was standing like at the corner of the host stand, and then the manager was like blocking me off from the and girl, and the and girl was like in the hostess stand or whatever like that. And then there was like the other manager, the one that I thought was my girl, but she really wasn't, because she was protecting the I was like, you know, I'm just not going to add any more fuel to the situation. It really sucked that it went down that way. I feel like if I could go back now, I would have just quit. But I feel like this is gonna be bad, y'all. Work with me. But I feel like if I could go back and get a sneak in, I low-key would. Like I just low-key would. I was literally like standing there, and I knew like there would not be enough, like, because I have long arms, I'm 6 feet, so like I was like, I knew that there would be reach, but the way that the manager was positioned and like was blocking her and stuff, I knew that that just would not be a factor at all. Literally like space and opportunity, like the whole front of the hostess stand was, no one was blocking it. My mom was right there. So I'm like, if you really want to do something, you really could have swung. Then she tried to get brave a little bit, and she was like, I didn't touch her, like that. And then the manager was like, calm down, don't do that, don't do that. Because of course, you know, they have to handle us with a long wooden spoon and make sure that we don't get more hostile, so we don't pop off and cause a scene. The manager, of course, was trying to escort us out, and the girls waving her fingers and doing the most. The manager was like, okay, let's just go, whatever like that. And I remember my mom was walking out, and then she kept talking. And I remember, like, younger, I just had like a temperament. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know. Like, when I was younger, like, I feel like, this sounds, bro, now, like, if I was like in a situation, like that situation, and one, it would never get to that, because I leave all confrontation behind. Like, I just don't deal with it, because I just feel like mentally when I'm there, it never goes well. So I just stay nice and quiet and reserved, and, you know, around like minds. That's how I see it. So like for me in that situation, that would have never happened now, me being that age. But that age, being 16 and already hormonal and all that, like anything's gonna really flip you off. So like when I was walking out the door, whatever, and she was like, did I touch you, Dad? And she was going off. And I remember turning around, and I was ready. I was like, I'm gonna go approach her. And then my mom was like, come and get your behind over here. I was like, oh, that was embarrassing, bro. That was low-key embarrassing. Like, she didn't even let me do anything. Like, she was literally like, she pulled the mom card quick. It was like, girl, get your behind over here. Like, we're not about to be in no fights in no restaurants. I taught you better. Like, she was really going at it or whatever. It was like absolutely hilarious. Now that I'm looking at it, then it really wasn't. That was embarrassing. But we like walked out or whatever, and the manager was like, listen, okay, you know, maybe you should just maybe come back. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to, you don't, like, it was like he was trying to talk me out of my job. And at that point, I was like, honey boo, you don't even have to talk me out of my job. I quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, I'm 16. I really don't need the job. I literally applied for the job because I wanted to have some responsibility. I wanted to make money and not ask my parents for it, like I said in the beginning of the story. And that's pretty much what it was. Like, I didn't have any bills I needed to pay. I didn't have my license, still don't. You know, like stuff like that. Like, there was no like obligations that I really had to really need the job. So at that point, I was just like, save it, like keep your job at that point. Like, that's just really dumb. And then I knew they wanted to keep the other girl anyway, and for me, I think it was kind of mind-blowing to me because, like I said to you guys in the beginning, I was working my behind off at that job, like working my behind off. I was crawling underneath stalls, I was picking up tissue, I was mopping, I was the janitor, I was cleaning up crap from underneath like the tables and stuff. I was doing some paperwork that the manager should have been doing. I was planning some events, some birthday events. I was setting up outside. I was like literally serving drinks from the bartender, underage by the way, was 16. So for me, it was like I was a hard worker, and then this girl's literally on her phone doing absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of showed me like the world is really not fair. That's what I really got from this whole situation. For and I don't want to pull the African American card thing, but I really do feel like that's what it is, and it's a reality. Like I feel like the world really is not fair for us. I'm gonna be honest with you, and not to take away from Caucasian people and say that, like, they don't work for anything or anything. Like, I'm not saying that at all, but I just feel like for me to work that hard and the Caucasian girl get away with the same thing that I did not get away with, if that makes sense. Like, it was a whole double standard thing. And I think it was also because of the area we were in. Like I said, we were in a ritzy behind area, unfortunately. So that's honest. That's like just my honest opinion. That's how I feel, my personal opinion, and that's what it is. But like I said, I quit the job. I did not go back. I viewed the job differently. I kind of fell in love with it, if that makes sense, because of all the stuff that was going on in that job prior to that. Before the fight, there was a racist remark actually at the job that happened with the customer. There was like a big family of people, and I was cleaning up a table, and they called me the N-word at the job. So that was just the highlight of my week, of course. So, you know, that happened, and then it was the fight, and then it was the pushing, and then it was the manager and her blocking me off from going to have lunch with my family and stuff like that. So, like, for me, it was like I went into this with like a clear understanding of I'm just here to do my job, get this check, make friends, and that's pretty much it. Like, I was 16, of course naive. Would I crawl underneath a bathroom stall and unlock doors now? Definitely not. I'm not doing that ever again. That was absolutely disgusting and really demeaning in a lot of ways. And I'm gonna finish this drink because, you know, this drink is good. If you guys wonder what this drink is, this is actually pineapple juice and sparkling cider, and then I have some I mean, not sparkling cider, oh gosh, Sprite or whatever, and then I just have some ice or whatever. It's nothing that special, but that's what I have. It's really good. Like, it's a really good juice. And I also have put a little, you know, tint of orange juice in it or whatever like that. So that's what the drink is. But like I said, I hope that you guys loved this mukbang / story time. I definitely will be doing this again. I have a lot more stories to share with you guys. If you guys made it through the story, you guys are a real one and an OG, okay, period. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to your girl's channel, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.